If you knew the one habit that quietly destroys 7 out of 10 engines, would you change it today? Because right now, millions of cars on American roads are dying from one preventable mistake. Not age, not miles, not bad luck. And the worst part? You probably did it this week. Stick with me because I'm about to show you how to make your car last a lifetime. And if you're still here by trick number 3, you'll know secrets dealerships pray you never learn. Trick number 17. Change oil based on time, not just miles. Most engines don't die from high mileage. They die from old, dirty oil. Here's what most drivers miss. Oil breaks down even when you're not driving. Moisture, heat cycles, and sitting too long turn good oil into sludge. So if you only drive on weekends, or your car sits through winter, you still need to change that oil at least every 6 months. Not just every 5,000 or 10,000 miles. Time matters just as much as distance. I've seen engines with under 50,000 miles ruined because the owner thought, I haven't driven much, so the oil's fine. Wrong. The additives in oil, the detergents and anti-wear agents, expire with age. Once they're gone, metal starts scraping metal. Always use a torque wrench when tightening your drain plug, 25 to 30 foot-pounds for most cars, and replace the crush washer every time. Use a new quality oil filter, not a $3 special. I stick to OEM filters or high-end brands like Wix or Mobil One. If you ever see milky residue on your dipstick, that's coolant mixing in, stop driving. You've got a leak somewhere. And this next habit? It saves engines before they even start spinning. Trick number 16. Warm up your engine before driving hard. Most engine wear happens in the first 2 minutes after starting. Cold oil is thick and slow. If you stomp the gas or haul heavy loads immediately, you're running metal on metal with almost no lubrication. Over time, this tiny damage adds up. American Automobile Association reports that premature engine wear is a top reason late-model engines fail early, and nearly half of that comes from cold starts. Don't waste time idling like it's 10 minutes of Netflix. Just 60 to 90 seconds of gentle throttle is enough for modern cars. Watch the coolant temperature gauge climb to normal range, or feel the oil dipstick after a minute. It should flow easily. During warm-up, check for any unusual noises. Ticking, knocking, or belt squeal. Those are early warnings most people ignore. Avoid revving. Let the engine find its rhythm. And here's my mechanic trick. Shift lightly through the gears while still in the driveway if you drive a manual. It circulates oil to turbo bearings and valve lifters faster. If you ever hear a persistent knock during warm-up, stop immediately. That's not a cold engine talking. That's damage starting. Next, we're talking about the oil itself. The lifeblood of your engine. Trick number 15. Always use full synthetic oil. This one goes mostly to the turbo engines, high compression motors, and engines that see a lot of stop-and-go city driving. Full synthetic oil isn't just marketing hype, it's a shield. It flows faster at cold starts, resists breakdown under heat, and keeps deposits from gumming up your engine. Studies by Society of Automotive Engineers and Mobil One show synthetic can last twice as long before losing protective properties. Here's how I do it. Stick with the manufacturer's recommended viscosity. 0W20, 5W30, whatever your engine calls for. And use OEM or high-quality brands. Skip bargain oils. They lack the additives that protect pistons, cams, and turbo bearings. Always replace the filter when you switch oils, because a dirty filter will contaminate even the best oil. Watch the dipstick after a few hundred miles on new oil. It should be clear or slightly golden. Black and thick? You've got sludge developing. Check for overheating or long intervals between changes. Common mistake. People think synthetic can never be overused. Wrong. Change it on schedule. 6 months to a year depending on miles, even if it looks perfect. If your engine suddenly smokes or knocks on synthetic, stop immediately. That's a sign of pre-existing damage. Next, we're going deeper. Cleaning the engine inside out. Trick number 14. Do an engine flush every 30,000 miles. Now this is my #1 secret trick. Most clients who come to my shop know this. I help them keep records, and every 30,000 miles, I remind them to flush. A lot of people think oil changes alone are enough, but old deposits and sludge hide in corners your filter can't reach. Left unchecked, they starve your engine of lubrication and rob horsepower. Here's how I do it. I use liqui moly engine, flush, or seafoam motor treatment, depending on the car. Pour it into the engine when it's warm, idle for 10 to 15 minutes, never drive it. Then drain completely. Follow up with a fresh OEM oil filter and a full synthetic refill or conventional oil, depending on the engine. This process lifts varnish and carbon deposits from lifters, oil galleries, and the crankshaft. Check your drain plug and pan after the flush. Brown or black sludge is normal. Metal shavings are not. That's a red flag right there. Call your mechanic. Common mistakes I see are people trying to flush too often or drive hard immediately after. That spreads debris instead of removing it. I also make sure the gasket surfaces are clean when replacing the oil pan plug. A crushed gasket here keeps leaks from forming. If you notice oil pressure dropping after a flush, stop. That usually signals hidden blockages or worn bearings. Next, we're moving to the small parts that quietly wreck engines if ignored. Trick number 13. Replace the PCV valve, air filter, and fuel filter regularly. Here's one most drivers never think about. Small parts kill engines quietly. A clogged PCV valve, dirty air filter, or fuel filter will starve your engine of air and oil balance, boost sludge buildup, and even trigger misfires. Start with the PCV valve. Remove it and shake it. If it rattles freely, it's good. If it sticks or is gummed up, replace it every 30,000 to 50,000 miles. Bad PCV cause rough idle, black smoke, or oil leaks around the valve cover. When installing, check the hose connections for cracks and replace any brittle lines. Next, the air filter. Inspect it every 12,000 miles or at every oil change. A gray or black filter is choking your engine. I prefer OEM or K&N replacements. Don't just shove it in. Seat it properly in the housing so no air sneaks around the edges. Fuel filters get overlooked. Replace every 25,000 to 40,000 miles depending on your car. Clogged filters cause hesitation, misfires, or stalling under load. Use the OEM part or a high-quality aftermarket like Bosch, and always relieve fuel pressure before swapping it. If your engine hesitates, sputters, or idles rough after these checks, stop and inspect. That's a clear signal. One of these filters or the PCV is failing. Next, we're stepping up to the parts that make or break reliability, quality replacements. Trick number 12. Use OEM or high-quality parts. Only cheap parts cost more than money. They cost engines. I've seen timing chains stretch, water pumps fail, and brake calipers seize because someone bought the bargain bin. OEM or high-quality replacements are engineered for your exact car, fit perfectly, and last much longer. When you replace anything, brakes, belts, sensors, or gaskets, check the packaging. OEM parts usually list the manufacturer and country of origin and often come with a warranty. Aftermarket parts can be fine, but stick to trusted brands: Bosch, Aisin, Denso, or Molly. Avoid no-name boxes that don't even list torque specs. Here's my tip. Always compare the old part to the new one. Dimensions, material, even finish matters. A slightly shorter belt or thinner gasket will fail sooner than you think. Torque bolts to spec. Never guess. Over-tighten and you crack parts. Under-tighten and they loosen. Watch for red flags. Premature wear, unusual noises, or leaks after installation are a sign something's not right. Don't shrug it off. Next, we move to the cooling system, the lifeline that most people forget until it's too late. Trick number 11. Keep your cooling system clean. Overheating kills engines faster than any other single factor. Rust, scale, and sludge in your radiator or hoses restrict flow and trap heat, silently cooking your motor. Start by checking coolant levels at the reservoir marks. If it's brown or rusty, flush it. I use a full radiator flush every 30,000 miles with Prestone Radiator Flush. Then refill with the correct mix of OEM coolant, usually 50-50 antifreeze and distilled water. Never top off with just water. That dilutes corrosion inhibitors. Inspect hoses and clamps while you're at it. Soft, cracked, or bulging hoses are ticking time bombs. Replace them immediately. Don't forget the thermostat. A sticking one starves the engine of circulation even if the radiator is spotless. Pressure test the system after flushing. Watch for leaks at the radiator, heater core, and water pump. Small drips today are catastrophic engine repairs tomorrow. If you smell sweet coolant or see white smoke from the tailpipe, stop driving. That's a blown head gasket or leak feeding directly into the combustion chamber. Next, we're talking about the fluid that quietly shifts everything: your transmission. Trick number 10. Maintain transmission fluid and filter. Most people treat the transmission like it's indestructible. It's not. Dirty fluid and clogged filters are the silent killers of smooth shifts and long-lasting gearboxes. Check your transmission fluid regularly. On most automatics, the dipstick shows both level and color. Healthy fluid is bright red and smells slightly sweet. Dark brown, black, or burnt-smelling fluid means trouble. I recommend changing fluid every 30,000 to 50,000 miles, depending on your car, or following the manufacturer's interval. If your transmission has a serviceable filter, replace it each time you change the fluid. Don't just drain and refill. Trapped particles and old metal shavings will recirculate and wear clutch plates or valves. Use OEM filters or high-quality aftermarket brands. Watch the torque on the pan bolts. Over-tightening warps the pan. Under-tightening leaks. Always clean the gasket surface before installing a new pan gasket. Red flags, slipping gears, delayed engagement, or strange noises after a fluid change. Stop driving until it's inspected. Ignoring it can turn a $200 service into a $3,000 rebuild. Next, we tackle the brake system, the one thing you cannot gamble with. Trick number 9. Replace brake fluid every 2 years. Most drivers forget this, but brake fluid is hygroscopic. It absorbs water over time. That water lowers boiling point, causing soft pedal, fade under heavy braking, and corrosion inside calipers and master cylinders. Flush and replace brake fluid every 2 years, even if the pedal feels fine. Use the type your manufacturer calls for. DOT3 or DOT4 are the most common never-mix types, and always bleed air out of the system while topping off. I keep a clear catch bottle to watch bubbles. One small bubble left can ruin braking feel. Inspect the master cylinder, brake lines, and calipers while you're at it. Soft spots, rust, or leaks mean immediate attention. Use a turkey baster or vacuum pump to remove old fluid completely. Don't just top off a trick I've learned over decades. Flush the fluid from the farthest wheel first, usually the passenger rear. It ensures all old water-laden fluid leaves the system red flag. If the pedal feels spongy or brakes grab unevenly, stop driving. That's corrosion or trapped air, and it's dangerous. Next, we're talking about the part that keeps you rolling smoothly and safely, your tires. Trick number 8. Keep tires properly inflated and aligned. Underinflated or misaligned tires ruin fuel economy, handling, and even suspension parts. Uneven wear shortens tire life and stresses shocks, struts, and wheel bearings. Check tire pressure monthly, cold, before driving. Use the manufacturer's sticker in the driver's door jamb, not the number on the tire sidewall. Overinflation is just as bad as underinflation. It reduces traction and wears the center tread. Rotate tires every 5,000 to 7,000 miles. To even out wear, alignment is not optional. If your car drifts, the steering wheel isn't centered, or you feel vibrations at highway speeds, get a professional alignment. A small misalignment today becomes major, uneven wear, and suspension stress tomorrow. Inspect tires for cuts, bulges, or sidewall cracks. I've seen perfectly good engines ruined because worn tires cause constant wheel hop or suspension damage red flag. Any rapid tread wear on one edge, pulling to one side, or vibrations at speed. Stop driving and get it checked. Next, we tackle the leaks that people shrug off until the engine screams for attention. Trick number 7. Don't ignore small oil leaks. Tiny oil leaks today turn into engine nightmares tomorrow. A drop a day on the driveway seems harmless, but that's often the first sign of a failing gasket, seal, or pan. Left untreated, it can starve your engine or ruin your catalytic converter. Check around the valve cover, oil pan, and front and rear main seals. Look for fresh oil, not just dried residue. Soft, brittle gaskets need replacing. OEM is best. Tighten bolts to spec. Over-tightening crushes gaskets. Under-tightening lets leaks continue. Don't forget oil cooler lines, turbo oil feed lines, and camshaft seals. Inspect hoses for cracks or swelling. Replace any suspect line before it bursts. I've seen drivers ignore a small drip until their dipstick showed oil halfway down the stick. That's enough to score bearings and damage the crankshaft red flag. Smoke from under the hood, or oil pooling on hot exhaust parts. Stop driving immediately and address it. Next, we'll cover the fuel system, the part that keeps your engine running clean and efficient. Trick number 6. Use fuel system cleaners regularly. Here's a truth most people skip. Gunk builds up in your fuel injectors and intake valves over time. That reduces power, kills fuel economy, and makes engines run rough. Even a newer car isn't immune. I recommend a quality cleaner like Chevron Techron Concentrate Plus or Seafoam Motor. Treatment every 3,000 to 5,000 miles, or at every other oil change. Pour it into a nearly empty tank and fill with fresh fuel. This ensures the cleaner reaches the injectors and combustion chamber effectively. Check the engine afterward. Smooth idle, quicker throttle response, and less hesitation are signs it worked. Listen for pinging or uneven running. If that continues, it may be time for a professional injector cleaning. Avoid cheap, unknown brand additives. They often leave residues or don't dissolve deposits. Always follow the product instructions and don't overuse. Too much cleaner can damage seals. Red flag: persistent rough idle, black smoke, or fuel odor after using a cleaner. That signals a bigger fuel system problem, and it needs attention immediately. Next, we're talking about a habit most drivers never consider but ruins engines silently: short trips. Trick number 5. Avoid short trips whenever possible. Here's a blunt fact: engines love to run at temperature. Short trips, under 5 miles, keep oil thick, combustion incomplete, and moisture trapped inside. That leads to sludge, corrosion, and premature wear. Combine this with stop-and-go traffic, and you've got fuel dilution, carbon buildup, and worn-out catalytic converters before the car even hits 50,000 miles. I see it every week. Engines with under 20,000 miles already gummed up because the owner drives 2 miles to the store. Whenever possible, take longer runs. 10 to 15 minutes of steady driving warms the oil fully, evaporates moisture, and lets fuel burn cleanly. Even highway trips once or twice a week make a huge difference. Watch for persistent black smoke, hesitation, or rough idle. That's your engine telling you short trips are taking a toll. Next, we're getting into the battery and electrical system, the quiet killers most drivers forget until it's too late. Trick number 4. Keep the battery and electrical system healthy. Here's a truth most drivers ignore: a weak battery or corroded connection can fry electronics, stall engines, or leave you stranded. Modern cars rely on stable voltage for everything from fuel injection to ABS. Check battery terminals every few months. Clean corrosion with a baking soda and water mix, or a terminal brush. Make sure clamps are snug but not over-tightened. Too much pressure cracks posts. Test voltage with a multimeter. Fully charged batteries sit around 12.6 volts with the engine off. Inspect the alternator and serpentine belt too. A slipping belt or failing alternator reduces charging voltage, stressing electronics and shortening battery life. Replace belts at the first sign of cracking or glazing. A trick I've used for decades. Lightly coat terminals with dielectric grease after cleaning to prevent corrosion. Also, check grounding straps from the battery to chassis and engine. Loose or rusty straps cause weird electrical issues. Red flag: dim lights, slow cranking, or warning lights flickering on the dash. Stop driving and address it before it fries your system. Next, we're diving under the car, where most owners never look, but corrosion silently eats steel. Trick number 3. Regularly clean and protect undercarriage. Rust starts under your car, not on the paint. Salt, dirt, and grime trap moisture against metal, corroding frame rails, brake lines, and suspension components. Pressure rinse your undercarriage at least twice a year, more often if you drive on salted roads. Pay attention to wheel wells, frame rails, and the exhaust hangers. I use a stiff brush for stubborn deposits and a hose with at least 2,000 psi for hard-to-reach spots. After cleaning, apply a rust inhibitor or wax-based undercoating to exposed metal. Avoid cheap sprays that run off. Look for thick, paint-like products that stick. Don't forget suspension joints, control arms, and around brake lines. Check all drain holes and shields. Clogged ones trap water and accelerate corrosion. Tighten loose brackets and inspect bushings for cracking. I've seen decades-old cars preserved almost like new, simply because owners stayed on top of undercarriage care. Red flag: bubbling metal, flaking paint under the car, or creaking suspension. That's early rust. Don't ignore it. Next, we get into a habit that separates mechanics from the average driver: keeping a true maintenance record. Trick number 2. Follow a maintenance log. Most engines fail not because of bad parts, but because owners forget what was done and when. A proper log prevents missed oil changes, filters, belts, and critical inspections. Write down every service, date, mileage, parts replaced, and fluid levels. I even note torque specs and any minor issues I spotted. Keep receipts or photos if possible. Digital apps are fine, but a small notebook in the glove box works just as well. Review it before every service. Mechanics can't catch what they don't know. A clear log also helps spot trends: coolant slowly dropping, tires wearing unevenly, or fuel trims creeping up. That early warning saves engines and wallets. I've kept logs on every car I've owned or serviced for 50 years. Clients who follow the log consistently almost never face catastrophic engine failure. Red flag: skipped services or missing entries. That's a recipe for expensive surprises. Now, we're down to my absolute favorite tip, the mindset that will truly make your car last a lifetime. Trick number 1. Treat your car like a machine, not a toy. Cars aren't just metal boxes with wheels. They're finely tuned machines that need respect, not abuse. How you drive, maintain, and store your car determines whether it lasts 10 years or 30. Drive smoothly. Don't slam the throttle, coast in neutral, or ride the brakes unnecessarily. Every harsh acceleration, every sudden stop, adds stress to the engine, transmission, suspension, and brakes. Think of your car like a musical instrument. Treat it roughly, and it won't perform. Keep it clean, inside and out. Dirt, debris, and spilled liquids corrode metal and damage electronics. Store it under cover when possible. Check fluids, belts, and tires regularly. Small preventive steps save thousands later. Pay attention to sounds, smells, and vibrations. A squeak, a smoke trail, or a new vibration is your car talking. Listen, don't shrug it off until a minor issue becomes a major repair. Red flag: persistent neglect or ignoring warning lights. Treating your car like a toy guarantees it won't last. Treat it like a machine, and it will reward you for decades. Now that you've got all 17 tricks, keep this list close, follow it faithfully, and you'll drive cars that outlive most owners. Subscribe, like, and comment if you want more hands-on advice from someone who's seen it all. Following these 17 tricks will keep your car running like new for decades. Don't skip a single one. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more expert tips. Click the video below to see Japanese tricks that keep cars mint.